Welcome to Wisner, Nebraska and Thunder by the River. Part of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Today it's modified two-wheel drive trucks. This is Michael Sully.
Man comes out of Colorado once again. When you have Thunder by the River, the winners come from all over the United States to compete at the big show. So the man from Colorado spinning and grinning. Oh, he was headed towards that sideline. He got off the throttle. You've seen the butterflies go shut, so I bet he turns that pull down.
Let's go back and look at the run. Evidently, something went wrong in the pull.
Well, I didn't think he ought to got off the motor that quick. Let's kind of keep an eye on that very front end where that blower pulley is. Butterflies are open. He's going to the side. Oh, right there, you seen the shield turn loose. He lost the blower belt. Good thing he's first puller.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
And another huge crowd on hand today for Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska. Hello, everyone. I'm Claude Wood, along with our expert analyst, Dave Bennett, and Rick Carlson down on the sidelines. Today we'll have pro stock tractors and those amazing modified two-wheel drive trucks. Continuing on with the class, a beautiful 1933 Chevy driven by Scott Weens.
One of the most best appearing vehicles in the pulling circuit of the Outlaws is the Notorious. And Scott Weens knows how to go to the lead. Now, the first man had mechanical trouble, but it don't look like Scott's having any mechanical trouble at all. Lays it in there at 316 and 87. That's going to be pretty tight. I don't know.
Okay, so Dave, as we look at the replay, what do you mean by tight?
Well, the sled is set up just a tick heavy. We like to get the boys out there around 320, 330, and the tight sled means you're going to have to work for everything you get. Let's see what Rick Carlson finds out.
Scott, 318, not a bad place to start.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll hold up or not for sure. It was a good pass. Sled set pretty heavy, but I don't know what else we'd have done different. We'll just see what happens.
And that'll bring up Bill Oberste and his 26 Ford T-Bucket, Missouri Gambler. Bill is a wood processor and a recycler.
Bill's got a lot of different things. Even our fuel that we have to burn, VP Racing Fuel, he helps distribute the VP Racing Fuel. And when he's not doing that, he's wheel standing in a two-wheel drive class, making it look pretty decent. Oh, these boys are really going to have to work for every bit of the footage they get today. He goes 302 and 64.
So, you've never ridden in the back of a 26 Ford T-Bucket? Here we go.
You know, I got a funny feeling. They was about that rough back in those days as well.
And that gives a whole new meaning to the word rumble seat. And that'll bring up Jay Kleinschmidt out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. He calls his truck full-blown insanity.
Another one of the guys that don't hook full time with the Outlaws, comes into bigger shows. See that raw alcohol coming out of some of those exhaust ports. He's not running on a full 8 cylinders, and that's going to show up in his distance at 279.40.
Well, the Nelson name has been known for a long time in the sport of pulling. This is Mindy, and her dad usually drives this truck. Lil Whip, she won Louisville this year.
Louisville considered the Super Bowl of pulling. She drove Dad's pickup in Louisville and won it. Oh, get it high in the air. Man alive, was that awful high for a run, but high enough to take the lead. 318 and 82, a beautiful run.
Well, we'll go from the Nelson family to the rookie of the class. This is Ray Miller. He calls his truck Bad Decisions. Uh-oh.
Man owns the pulling track in Whitewright, Texas, where we always are on the 4th of July every year. Rookie to the sport, but you can't tell by the way the man charges down the track. The Bad Decisions machine goes third place at 304 and 16.
And it's time now for another Nelson getting ready to pull. This is Mindy's uncle. This is Brian. You've probably seen the Texas Stampede before.
This man's in the points race trying to be the number one man in the Outlaws in points. All he's got to do is make, holy smoke, All he had to do is make a decent run and run out of bounds, and he is going to be some of that upset. Bad deal.
I don't understand this one, Dave. Well, he spots the sled to the left, and then it just, man, I don't know what happened.
Well, his name is Brian Nelson, and he ain't going to take no pudding run to take a win. He wants to run for the win at Wisner, and it cost him. He just got away from him.
Well, I can appreciate that. That will bring up Kent Urban, driving Redline Oil. Kent has a lot of experience.
From the drag race strip to the pull strip, man's been everywhere. Out of Osceola, Nebraska, he's standing that front end up in there. These guys got to get a little weight on the front end, and he's playing with that sideline. Playing with it really close, but he's in bounds. He goes 299 and 34.
And the mark to beat is 318.82. Here's Thumper, driven by Timothy Mikowski. He has a heat and air conditioning business.
Well, he comes off a win in Rock Valley. We seen him a few weeks back taking that win. Now he would like to back it up with a win at Wisner. Front end up in there, horsepower singing. Well, it ain't going to be back-to-back wins. He gets a distance of 295 and 33.
As we look at the leaderboard showing everyone that winning the big one at Louisville was no fluke, there's Mindy Nelson. She's leading in Lil Whip. When we come back, Kelby Shaw will be pulling with the Texian. You stay with us.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by VP Racing, Macon Power, Extreme Performance and Tire Cutting, a cut above the rest, Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool, and the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, Thunder in the Dirt.
Hey, welcome back to Thunder by the River. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, pulling is the best, and everybody wants to keep up with what's going on. And if you're an outlaw or you want to know what the Outlaw's doing, the best way to do it is get the Outlaw app. It goes on the iPhone, it goes on the Android. It tells you where we are, where we've been, who's doing what, and it's up to date. It's live. And you know what? Claude, if you would put this on your phone and spend the $6.99, I wouldn't have to answer all your questions.
What? Say what? Well, I tell you, when you give me that raise you've been promising me, then I'll step up to the plate. Kelby Shaw coming up now. To the plate, the Texian, the only Chevy motor in the class.
And don't count this Chevrolet motor out. The boys out of White Ride, Texas with the Texian like the Chevrolet. They make it work. They make it work hard. Going to come up just a tick shy, but hey, a Chevrolet motor against the big Hemis going 291 and 77, and he'll still be smiling about that.
As we go on board, I love these T-buckets. You're out in the open. You can see everything that's going on. You get the perspective to the left and to the right, not to mention the wind that is blowing in your face and the jar of the engine. Here comes Cole Zychek now. It's called the Texas Two-Step.
Another one of your T-buckets, and he is our defending points champion. The man has got a feel for the two-wheel drive. He just knows when to ask for the horsepower. It sure is riding that white line on the right. All these boys are going to have to be careful of that side. Once you cross 300 foot, you can vary left or right, but not until then. And we're going to live with a distance of 306 and 96, puts him in number 3 spot.
Here's a good-looking 46 Willys Jeep, driven by Richard Morris. Richard has been pulling since 1995.
Very experienced. He likes sitting inside the two-wheel drive. Got the big Hemi inside the Jeep body. He's not messing with the sideline. Drifted on him a little bit, cost him a little bit. 284 and 34. He would like to have gone a little farther than that.
Well, we saw Cole Zychek pull just a minute ago. Here's his dad. This is Robert, a 26 Chevy T-Bucket, rancher, 10-time Outlaw Points champion.
You want to talk about experience? You got experience right here. Been down the track more than anybody else in this class, I'm quite sure. Just takes a ride, goes 321 and 45, puts him in the lead. Track's starting to change just a little bit as these big two-wheelers going down the track. You notice there's a dark spot right there. He's got to be careful not blow the tires off of it. Got to milk it out. Now he's got a dry spot. Got to work it all the way. Wet and dry, wet and dry. Rick Carlson's going to find out what Robert has to say.
Robert Zychek, a long way down the pulling course.
Yes, sir. I wasn't expecting to go that far with the track being wet, but I guess I put it in the right place. My son did.
Well, we'll go from all of Robert's experience to Trevor Fitzsimmons, 16 years old.
New driver to the sport. Had a birthday. Dad put him in the driver's seat. Timmy, his dad normally does the driving, but hey, he sure taught him how. You got to be careful of turning those wheels when you're up in there. If you bounce down, you get in trouble, but he let it go. He didn't fight it. A great job by Trevor Fitzsimmons out of Macon, Missouri. Moves into number 4 at 3:07 and 84.
Yeah, timing worked out great for him there. Screaming Eagle. This is Roger Deathridge. He has pulled in the lower classes and just stepped up recently to this class.
To the blower motor. He's always been in the two-wheel drive class, but he's been in carbureted and such as that with some of the Missouri Association. Still got to figure out this blower a little bit. Also got to figure out how to go a straight line. You get farther down the track rather than 271 and 94.
Our next puller is Sonny Martinez. He came a long way to pull here in Wisner.
You're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and there's no pulling anywhere around. What got you involved in the sport?
I came with a friend to a tractor pull, and I got hooked. It's been fun. It's something that really intrigued me, so started doing it, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy the people. It's just all over the place. It's just fun.
And Sonny is a lot of fun to be around. He also drives a modified tractor.
Well, setting in the two-wheel drive today called In Sync. Now, the one thing that Sonny does, he's used to a quarter-mile drag strip. He uses a foot throttle, one of very few that is set up that way, but he gets him a distance of 282 and 34. Not going to be in the top numbers.
Take a look at this C-Cab truck, sort of a new body style for Randy Wendling, special delivery.
Out of Manchester, Iowa, you always got to be careful when you're talking about Randy Wendling. You don't know what vehicle he's coming out with next. He changes shirts, but a good-looking machine. 288 and 81.
All right, check out this replay from way up above, from the drone, way down in the end zone.
Well, you look at the river, it's right behind those trees, the crowd on the side, a beautiful shot of a great pulling machine. That is a special delivery photo shot right there.
How cool is that? Here's Michael Sully again. This is his repull, Ragin' Thunder.
Well, he broke that blower belt on his first pass, and he broke at 283, so really wants to do better than that. He really needs to get up in that 300-foot range. He was over on the other side of the track earlier. Now he's on the left side of the track. Well, he bettered himself. Good thing he put that belt back on. He goes 297 and 75.
Checking out final results, Robert Zychek, your winner in Gunsmoke. His son Cole, number 5. The 16-year-old Trevor in 4th place. When we come back, it'll be the Pro Stocks, Justin Hill in Gangrene. You stay with us. Welcome back as the sun sets over beautiful Wisner, Nebraska. Thunder by the River, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Pro Stocks, let's get it going with Justin Hill from Mercer, Missouri.
10,000 pounds of raw horsepower in the diesel engines. Great big single turbo, no multi-turbo. The higher the smoke goes in the air, the more power you're putting out. And Justin, you better be careful. You're getting really close to that sideline and the boundary and everything. First puller. Now he's going to have a distance of 327 and 37, but he let off the throttle, and he probably had a little more left, Claude.
As we go to the replay, Dave, people always think it's the track that pulls you over. Not necessarily.
Hey, he could have been set off 1 inch too far to the right on the chain of the sled, the air pressure, the tires. But he turns that pull down. He didn't like the outcome, so he will be back.
So here comes David Fleming. He will set the mark to beat. And David is out of Kearney, Nebraska.
Don't have a name on the tractor. It's just a 4955 John Deere tractor. Rock and roll. It looks like the boys are going to be fighting that sideline all day long. He's done a great job of feathering that brake and bringing it back in. So in the mark to beat is going to be 3:08 and 11.
Pretty good pull. Let's go on board and see where we can tell he was pulled to the right.
Well, he just starts drifting. You notice the front wheels didn't take him over. In fact, he has them turned just enough, though when they touch, they bring him back on the track. Really a good job of driving.
Jim Brackett now on Hillbilly Express. 3 wins, 12 top 3 finishes in 2014. Wow.
This is Mr. Experience in the Pro Stock Tractor class. Now notice, everybody's been fighting that right side. He moved it over to the left side. He didn't want to fight it. Front end got a little high on him in a place or two right there. Don't know about that, but he still has a good distance of 3:21 and 19.
And you know the interesting thing here, Dave, is he sets up over it to the left. The track or something right there pulls him to the left, not the right.
And that's because that front end got so high the wheelie bars touched and he went down on the ground and hurt him a little bit there. Rick Carlson's going to find out more.
Jim, that seemed like a nice, solid, strong pull.
That was a pretty good pass. We needed another weight or two on the front, but other than that, that was a good pass.
21-year-old Cody Yarrick up now. He's your 2014 Outlaw Points Champion runner-up.
Yep, he's gunning for that #1 spot. He wants it really bad. Got a neat looking tractor. A lot of nostalgia in this tractor. Oh, giddy up, go. Boys have figured out you better start over on that left side, let it drift to the right, just like what he done. He goes #2 at 3:25 and 80.
Let's take a look at the replay. He is sitting right in the center of the track. Well, some of the pullers went right. One has gone to the left. Why not go to the center?
Yep, and you know your own tractor. You know how it's set up. You just let it do its thing. Let's go down into the pit area.
Cody, 325. Did it feel good?
Yeah, felt good. I'd have to look back at the video to see if I would have changed anything. I know it was in the right gear, but I'm not entirely sure about my weight.
Here's Cody's dad. This is David, 6-time Outlaw Points Champion, 2-time Outlaw Puller of the Year.
All right, Dirt Slinging Deer. The name has been around in Outlaws for quite some time. And hey, take a look where he's on the track. He's going to try that right side. Everybody's trying someplace different to find a sweet spot. They're all worried about their weight distribution. 316 and 94. Son's going to get bragging rights today.
All right, let's look now at Steve Bailey. See where he sets up. Rut cutter. Where's he going to find a rut?
Yeah, this man knows dirt. He's a construction man, so he knows dirt. Where's he going to set up? He's going to not take no chances. He's going to put it in the middle. Motor went down. Got a motor issue. When you heard that motor pull down, bad deal. 290 feet, .77. His paycheck's not going to be very big.
And to look once again at Gang Green, Justin Hill with his second pull.
All right, now you've seen what happened to him on the first time. He got close to that right side. He knows he's got to be careful of that this time. Kind of still wanting to go to that away, but he's not going to be in trouble. Lets it float, and he's going to get a better distance out of it. Good enough distance to go to the lead. 3:31 and 69.
And again, he is setting up in the middle, but that's in the middle of all of those shadows, and that's got to change, like you said a minute ago, when it gets to the sun part of the track.
Well, you notice when the sled come out of the shadow, the front end went up, it got traction. Justin, what'd you think of it?
331? That's 4 foot better than that first pull that you turned down.
Yeah, I thought I was out of bounds. That's why I went ahead and re-went again. So, but still made a better pass, I guess.
That's it, the 331. That's where you needed to be.
Yep, I like it.
Checking out the Pro Stock leaderboard, it's all John Deere except the Lone International in third place, driven by Jim Brackett. But hold on, the Internationals are getting set to pull. Rick Barrett in Wampus Cat. Stay with us.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by Precision Turbo, the world's foremost manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket turbochargers. Sap Brothers, welcome, be our guest. Graham Tire, your tire store next door. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska, the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Great crowd on hand today. This is Rick Barrett on Wampus Cat, 3:31 and 69, the mark to beat.
And this International can do it. Ricky's been there before. Front end's floating just like he wants it to. Starting to just go right down the middle of the track. You can't argue about that. Just not far enough. 3:13 and 82 for the Wampus Cat.
And that'll bring up Jeff Parker in Road Gear Plus. Jeff has been pulling since 1971, so we'll see how much all of that experience plays out.
And a man comes out of Martinsville, Ohio, runs a trucking company, a hog farm. He and his son both pull with the Outlaws. Motor starting to labor. When you heard that motor start going down, you knew the turbo wasn't going to be able to handle it. Too tall of a gear, going to have to live with 287 and 57.
And that'll bring up Joshua Parker. This is Jeff's son, 2013 and 15 Western Farm Show champion.
Name of the tractor is Out for Justice. Just don't have it painted yet. Doing better than Dad, but also too tall of a gear. Pulled that motor down, but doing better than Dad. He goes 302 and 66.
Well, let's go on board. A good straight-on look, concentration. The throttle goes down, and here we go.
I like this shot right here. I love it. I like to watch his eyes. You've seen him just glance down at the gauges. The rest of the time, he's concentrating on where the flag is and where the flag is at.
Lee Jensen coming up next, driving high compression, self-employed mechanic, and Lee started pulling in 2007.
Blair, Nebraska, man, was he aggressive on the clutch coming off the line. Almost done a sidestep on the clutch, and that tractor had to really struggle to recover. But when it recovered, it done pretty decent. 319 and 46, moved him in the number 4 spot. Bad start and all.
Turning down his first pull worked out well for Justin Hill, setting him up to win the class. John Deere, bragging rights in Wisner for the next year.
Well, I tell you what, Claude found out all about the Outlaw pulling app, the only one of its kind. Now he's going to save up his $6.99 to where he can afford to get the app and not ask me them questions.
Put it on my bill, okay? Now, for Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood, so long, everyone.